Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, agency transformation coach and founder of Niche in Control, creator of Leverage for Growth.
And I'm Lucas James, founder of Twiz.io, which scaled from $0 to $200,000 a month with my own agency.
We are the hosts of Leverage for Growth podcast agency leverage episodes. We know that in order to scale your agency successfully, there are multiple shifts that need to happen within the founder's mindsets, skill sets, and leadership styles. We are on a mission to interview marketing and PR agency owners on their journey to 6, 7, and 8 figures and leverage the lessons from their journey to save you time, energy, and money in order for you to get your agency to the next level. If you find value in these episodes, watch the case study video to learn more about Leverage for Growth and how we successfully scale agencies quickly at nicheincontrol.com/case study. That's nicheincontrol.com/case study. You are now listening to Leverage for Growth. Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, founder of Niche in Control and creator of Leverage for Growth. Welcome to the Agency Leverage Edition. Today I am here with Danny Coello, the CEO of DS&P Digital Marketing Agency, a full-service digital marketing agency that has an almost fanatical approach to increasing small businesses' revenue. Thanks for coming to our show today.
Thank you, Jesse. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and the background of your agency?
Sure. It started as a one-man show, and we've grown exponentially with the help of our clients and the support of our clients. And now we have offices in Dallas-Fort Worth, Chicago, and Midtown Manhattan.
Holy cow. 14 years, there's probably been a lot of changes, not only from the solopreneur to where you are right now, but also in the agency landscape. Kind of talk a little bit about what the last 14 years has been like for you.
So let's start with the fact that digital marketing wasn't called digital marketing 14 years ago. Yeah, it's, well, if there's one thing that you can count on specifically in this industry is that everything changes, and everything can change in a flash from the solutions that are being offered, how we go about executing those solutions, even the industry as a whole. We're talking about banning TikTok and ChatGPT, just two things that kind of have come across over the last few weeks. And, you know, this industry changes on a daily basis.
How have you been able to kind of adapt to the changes over the period of time? I know a lot of people, they might be relying on a certain thing, you know, and then that thing changes and they're like, you know, can you talk a little bit about how you kind of adapt to the changes?
You have to be flexible, and you have to have an insatiable hunger and thirst for knowledge, because things are changing constantly. I remember the beginning of the year when ChatGPT was coming on board, and everyone that works on SEO was on a 6-7 alarm fire saying, oh my gosh, everything's going to change. What's going to happen? In reality, ChatGPT is an incredible tool that helps our current SEO. So you just have to kind of take the punches as they come, have to be extremely nimble and flexible, and things kind of fall where they should.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the history and background? Is there kind of like a story or an aha moment that maybe you know, started your agency?
Sure. So actually, I come from an entrepreneurial background. My father has always owned businesses. His two brothers, my two uncles, have always owned businesses. I got cousins. My brother is starting also a side hustle. When you get to see it firsthand, it's actually a little easier to dive into the abyss. But anyway, so how the business started? I was actually coming off of in 2009, coming off of the 2008 financial meltdown and the housing crisis and all of that. And my previous business, actually, prior to that, was in real estate. I was flipping houses, actually. It did a number on me.
Yeah.
So, and I was managing a print shop. Now, this is back in 2009, and one out of every 2 or 3 customers that would come in to print flyers, door hangers, direct mailers, all of that, they would be asking if we offered website development.
Sure.
Of course, we didn't. But then after I heard my employees a few times say, no, we don't offer it. No, we don't offer it. I said, you know what? Tell them that, yes, we do. and so we'll discuss what they want, and based on that, we'll just kind of start figuring it out. Being an entrepreneur, you learn to look for solutions. So once you get to a bridge, you try to figure out how to cross it. And so basically that's the way it was. And I actually started studying myself how to code, how to build websites, what platforms I could build websites on, depending on the needs for the client. And so I started myself getting some of these projects on the side. After a couple of years of doing this, I actually said, you know what, if I want to grow this, I need to, first of all, capitalize. And second of all, I need to devote myself to this. I can't be running a print shop and trying to run my own business. So I actually took 2 part-time jobs. So I was working 3 jobs at a time, my business and 2 different jobs, trying to capitalize the business. I did that for 4 years. And finally, I think it was 2014, I finally took the jump and said, okay, this is enough. I need to devote myself full time to this. And in 2016, I opened my office in downtown Fort Worth, which was my first official office, which, by the way, my first official office for the business was a desk. I rented a desk inside of a used car dealership. I knew the owner. He had a desk on the back of his dealership that he was not using. I told him, listen, can I lease that desk from you? So I would meet some clients there. Hey, you got to start somewhere. And I've been extremely blessed, and I'm extremely grateful because it's been an incredible journey now with having 3 different offices and being a much larger business than I was back in 2009 when I started in 2009. I will say this, that in 2014, as the business started to grow into 2016 as well, I needed to make a choice on whether I wanted to continue addressing or helping small businesses or devote myself to mid-sized to larger accounts. There were opportunities to work with the government, to become an approved vendor. There were opportunities to start working with some Fortune 500 companies, but I didn't like it. The money was good, but the money is not everything. That what I really had a passion for is actually helping businesses that were in the same position that I was just a few years ago. Helping businesses in which they're either starting from scratch, they have nothing, or businesses that have already started, but they're struggling to kind of get their footing, to become successful online, to do all these different things. I've been there and I've done that. So through my previous experience as a business owner, and through the creativity and the expertise of my staff, I actually get to see small businesses start from nothing. There are some clients that come to me with just a business plan. or a name for the business. And we see them grow into full, successful, exciting businesses and organizations. And to me, that is what makes me excited about going to work every day. I love it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. It reminds me, one of my previous guests talked about with small businesses, you can be called a hero, where you'll never get that with like a big brand. They'll never call
Yeah,
like the agency a hero.
exactly. And so that's exactly the reason why I chose to stay where I'm at and to stay on that particular niche. And the reason is because you really make a difference. In Fortune 500 companies with working with government contracts, it's just a number. Who cares? And then any decision, the flexibility and the nimbleness is just not there. It's a completely different deal. I love what I do. I love getting to talk to business owners on a daily basis. I love seeing the difference that we make in their lives.
Awesome. So for anybody that's listening, and if you were to look back and kind of see the different kind of like either tips or advice that you'd give either your previous self or somebody that's listening that might be one or two steps before you, maybe they don't have the multiple offices, maybe they're in the auto dealership,
Yeah.
with the desk, what kind of advice would you give them to either save them time, energy, or money?
There is one thing that there was a direct correlation from the moment that I realized that I needed to have people inside my operation that were smarter than me. That moment was the moment where I started seeing exponential growth. I was trying to, I'm not a micromanager. I like, especially in my industry, especially with people who are creative, it's a hassle to try to have someone overbearing on top of you. It's good to have the creators create. But I didn't have the support system around me, the smart people around me that would help me with the things that I was weak on, to help me with the things that I had no experience on. Even though I've owned several businesses, even though I've been there and done that, there's always something that you have never been exposed to. And the moment that I realized I need help, and the moment that I was not afraid to bring people on board that were way smarter than I am, that was the moment where I started seeing my agency grow exponentially. Don't be afraid. As a matter of fact, what you would want to be is the dumbest person in the room as opposed to the smart guy in the room. When you do that, and when you have people who are very smart around you, it's going to make your entire operation that much stronger. And by the way, this advice not only applies to marketing agencies or to people who are starting or in the process of trying to grow an agency. This also applies to business owners regardless of your industry. I tell my clients on a daily basis, make sure, one of the beauties of being an entrepreneur is that you can pretty much do anything that you want. And a lot of people who have a talent for being an entrepreneur, they're problem solvers. And so if there is something to tackle, if there's something to do, they're willing to do it. The problem is that if you devote all of your time and effort to things that someone else has a gift for, or someone else can help you because they have the expertise, the ability, the creativity to do it better than you can, let them do what they're gifted to. And you focus on the things that only you as a business owner can do. When you do that, it frees you from so many things and from so many shackles and chains and things that are holding you back. So my advice is, be the dumbest person in the room. That's my advice.
I think that's the podcast episode title.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is like? What are you excited about for your agency? What's success for you in the next 1 to 3 years?
I want to keep growing. I want to make sure that we're addressing new new industries, new things. The New York office was actually opened in the beginning of last year, and it was one of the best decisions that I ever made because in Dallas and in Chicago, the type of clientele that you get is very different. The type of clients that you get in Chicago, they're startups and they're companies who are getting who are trying to solidify, but they're a completely different type of business, and I love that. It's been a completely learning experience, completely new learning experience for me, but I love it, and I think that I want to continue exploring other opportunities that will make me expand or make our agency expand on what we do and how we do it.
Awesome. So for anybody that's listening, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, or do you have any offers for them that they could take advantage of?
Sure. Go to our website, dial911fordesign.com. There's a neat story behind that name, by the way. Dial 911 for design. Phil Knight, there is a movie coming up from Nike and how he got started. And NPR was asking Phil Knight, how did he come up with the logo? And he said that he had to go to the design department in Oregon University because it's not like you could dial a 911 for design and boom, you got yourself help. So this was early 2000s. I went online to see if dial 911 for design was available, and guess what? It was. It's catchy. So I that's the reason why that domain. So dial 911fordesign.com. Go to our contact tab. And if you are a new client and you contact us through there and you mention this podcast, you will get a discount on the first service that we offer you, 20%. Just make sure that in the contact form you include and you mention this podcast.
Awesome. Well, for everybody that's listening, I'll include the URL for dial911fordesign.com in the show notes. And I really want to appreciate you and thank you very much for coming on the show today.
It's been a pleasure, Jesse. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Agency owners, if you want to transform your agency to sustain and grow without your direct involvement, where you can stop working in the business and switch to working on the business, where you can regain control of your time, delegate effectively, get paid what you're worth, and have your team run the day-to-day, go to nicheincontrol.com/case study right now to learn more about Leverage for Growth. You can book a free strategy session with us to look at your systems, understand what needs to be done in order for you to scale, and get a free strategic plan for the next year to live the life of entrepreneurship that you've always dreamed about. Go to nicheincontrol.com/case study. That is nicheincontrol.com/case study now.